We are pleased to be joined today by a gentleman who just recently signed with the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday, played for Vanderbilt University for the past 4 years, and we are really excited to have Harry Ray join us on the show today. So as soon as Harry does join us, we will get him on and we will start chatting with him about his baseball career, his experiences, and what it's like to be part of the Blue Jays organization. Before we have Harry join us on the show, I would like to just give a shout out to our creative team, Matt Creative and Matthew DeCastro, for the work as always that they put into doing the promos for this show. So Harry is here. Let's get him on and get rolling. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
Your video's a little sideways.
Oh, let me fix that.
There we go. So how are things? How was your week? Some exciting news.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Fun weekend. So it was definitely fun, exciting, and ready to be a Blue Jay.
That's awesome. We'll get into the Blue Jay aspect a little bit, but my first question for you is, where did your passion for baseball come from?
I think for me, baseball was always something that I really enjoyed at a young age. I think I was lucky enough to be um, around a lot of baseball-minded people at a young fans and kids my age wouldn't have seen if you just went to a game. So I've been behind in locker rooms and in batting cages with different pro guys and pro coaches and just stuff like that at a young age. And so I just think that it's always been a dream and a goal for me to get to make it to this level and beyond. So it was definitely at a young age.
Now, you started your career with Vanderbilt back in 2017. And what was the decision to go to Vanderbilt versus another university or another college in the States?
For me, it was just the ability to go somewhere where you had the best of both worlds. So you're competing against the best in the SEC, and then you're also academically, you're in a top 15 university, and so you're also challenging yourself in the classroom to be better and to learn different things and broaden your perspective on ideas and topics that you might not have thought about or experienced at a younger age. So for me, it was just the aspect of both worlds and bringing them together to just have a great experience for college. So it was definitely a good choice.
Nice. Yeah, I have to say, Vanderbilt has a very nice stadium. I was down there in that area for softball this past summer, actually.
Okay.
And when we were down there, they were in the middle of redoing the entire field, or they were in the process of
Hmm.
redoing the grass or something. But we still
Yeah.
got to see the stadium and what it's like to play for that size crowd. And my thought process was just like, man, imagine what it'll be like for these guys who will get to the MLB eventually and play in front of 50,000 people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's definitely gonna be something exciting.
Now, during your sophomore year, you had a great outing because you started in 22 games in four different positions through 42 appearances. What was it like being for you, being so versatile and being able to play in a number of different positions versus just focusing on one?
I think for me, being able to play multiple positions, like you said, was probably one of the main factors that got me on the field as soon as possible. I think being able to play in different positions and being so open to playing different positions, I think the coaching staff had a lot of trust in me and my ability to go out there and put me in these different positions day in and day out and know that I'd succeed and do something productive that day. So it's definitely it's not easy. I think for me, it takes a lot of time and work at these different positions, but I pride myself on being able to do multiple things on the field.
Now, talking about playing those different positions, where does your competitive spirit come from Like when you're going into a game, you get your mind focused, your body focused for a game. Where does all that competitive spirit come from?
I think that's just something that's been with me forever. I think I've always wanted to compete, and I just think that I'm a very competitive person and I want to win at anything I do. So whether it's playing cards, whether it's playing baseball, football, whatever it was when I was younger, older, I just think for me, I want to win and I want to beat the person that I'm playing. So if that is baseball, it's baseball, but I can put that in so many different scenarios. So I definitely take pride in competing and trying to be the best at every position or the best at anything I do.
Now, talking about being best at what you do, you certainly showed that in 2019 when you led Vanderbilt with 21 out of 24 stolen bases. And you also led or set the SEC tournament game record with doubles versus Ole Miss. What was it like for you to put your name on that marker list and just have that record in that season?
Oh, yeah, that was definitely something special. That was a very special game for us. It was a really crazy game. I'm glad we won that one, but being able to come out of that game and know that you left your mark on that game and that tournament is definitely something special to me, and that uh I'll always hold deeply. And it's going to be interesting to see if anybody can top that one. So I hope somebody does because records they're put in place to be beat. So I hope somebody breaks it. But I'm definitely I'm happy the way I left that event, knowing that not knowing at the time that it'd be my last time playing there, but knowing now that that was the last game I played there was definitely something special to have and be able to look back on.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of COVID-19, the season this year had to come to a cut in the road, and you weren't able to reach another game or that tournament again. What was it like for you to kind of have those feelings, knowing that that was your last tournament, and also to that coming off the championship that your team put out on the field this past season, that you wouldn't be able to have an opportunity and recreate that, but doing all that while getting ready for the MLB draft. What were you going through, or what was your mind like going through all that?
It was definitely a lot of emotions going on, a lot of feelings. I will say, at the time, it was definitely it was sad, and it wasn't a lot of talking going on when we first found out. It was definitely unfortunate what happened and losing half, almost more than half of a season, and not like you said, not getting that opportunity to go back and try and win another title was definitely something that we were really trying to do, and we really wanted to get back out there and show people a new team that we had. So not being able to get that chance, it sucked and it wasn't fun. But you kind of got to look at it from the positive side and all the time that we did get to spend together and the memories and the relationships we made with one another is definitely something that we'll cherish. And you just got to try to find the bright side of it. And then, I mean, preparing for the draft, it was tough because, in a sense, you're losing a lot of what it's not like football where you have a combine or anything. Really, all you get to do is show them how you play. And so now you're at a disadvantage when you're not being able to play. So there's really you're just sitting back and it's out of your control and you just got to hope for the best. So that's really what it came down to, just sitting there having conversations with guys and hoping that what you did in the past was enough to give them the confidence to go out there and get you. So it was a weird time and it was very unique. So I'm glad it played out the way it played out though.
Now we had a question coming in from one of the viewers here saying, "Hey Harry, what's one of your favorite baseball memories?"
Um, I think the my favorite baseball memory would probably be winning the College World Series. I think that's something that everybody dreams about when you play college baseball, and to say that I was fortunate enough to be one of the people to win a College World Series is definitely special. So I think the College World Series and that 2019 team in general was a very special year. So I will say that's probably one of my best memories so far.
That's definitely a special one for that college years. Now, talking about MLB and the Blue Jays. What does it mean to see all of the hard work and dedication that you put into those 4 years turn into an MLB draft signing with the Blue Jays now?
It's very special. It's something that you dream about and something that you work for a while, not just 4 years, but many years before that. And so to finally get to a point where you're getting in a level that you've been trying to get to for your whole life, it's definitely special. It's surreal. There's a lot of emotions that go on in these last 2 days that it's kind of just like wow. But at the same time, it's like you enjoy it for now, and then you just got to get ready to continue to work and work harder because you are a step closer, but you're still a couple steps away. So it's the finish line. You gotta sprint through the finish line.
For sure. We have another question that came in
hmm
saying, what are you most looking forward to about being in Toronto?
Wow. That's a great question. I definitely, I don't know. That's a tough one because I've never been to Toronto or Canada. So that'll be my first time coming to Canada. So it's definitely, I'm definitely gonna have to ask people to see what I should go visit and what I need to, places I need to go eat or places I need to go see. So it's definitely gonna be something that I fall back on some of the fans and see what they say.
Well, I have to tell you, man, I grew up in Toronto. I now just live east of the city
hmm
in Whitby. And when once everything's cleared and you're able to come up to Toronto, um, definitely hit me up. We will make sure that I show you the site, show you some good food joints so you know where to go, especially the ones that are around the ballpark, because I know baseball players because I play a little ball myself, and we're
hmm
always hungry after a game. So you want to get to a place that has quick eats and good eats quick.
Oh yeah.
Um, during your baseball career and even kind of prior to your career, there's always people that you look up to or that work with you in your life that motivate you to be the best that you can be and to kind of just help you give that extra push. Who are those people that played a major part in your career for you?
I think my dad would definitely be one of them. He didn't have a real background in baseball. He was a wrestler, but just his competitive edge and his will to try and because wrestling's it's a single sport, so you have to be really competitive, tough, and will yourself to beating somebody. So just getting that from him and learning um that grit and that fight in a different sport definitely has been something that I've tried to keep and use in my baseball career.
Nice. Another question that came in. Sorry, the Instagram channel is a little slow today. What advice would you have for young players like me, like this gentleman, or yeah, this person being inspiring to be a Vandy boy one day?
I would tell that person to work hard, to definitely have fun in the game, play the game hard. Don't ever take anything for granted. Don't ever take a playoff because you never know who's watching you, and you never know who's at your game that day or whatever it may be. So to always push and always have and to make sure you're just having fun at the end of the day.
Nice. Great words of wisdom for sure. Now, my last question for you, or one of the last questions, are as we saw in the MLB draft, Austin Martin got drafted fifth by the Blue Jays. What's it like to be able to come to Toronto, play for the Blue Jays, but also know that you're coming with a teammate that you spent the last few years with?
Yeah, no, I definitely, it's definitely a cool feeling to have a familiar face going with you. I actually know there are a few people that I know. We also had a teammate, Phil Clark, drafted the year before, who's in the organization, and I'm pretty good friends with Bo. So I have a couple ties to the organization. So it's definitely going to be it's nice to know that you're going to have familiar faces going into to something that you're going into, and you're not too familiar with it. So being able to know a few people there is definitely going to be something that I'll lean on and use for my advantage.
My last question for you relates to the field. As we talked about earlier, you're very versatile in the different areas that you can play. What's your favorite position, and where are you looking to hopefully fit in with the Blue Jays organization?
Mm, Favorite position? Probably the middle infield. I've always grown up a middle infielder, so to me, I think I have the most. That's where I'm most comfortable and where I enjoy the most. But I mean, honestly, to fit in, I don't know where that's going to be yet. Wherever they want me to go, that's where I'll play. Whatever it says that day, that's where I'm going to go play. And so I don't really have an, a choice or a preference really. So it'll be fun.
Now, being a ball player yourself, who is a ball player that you looked up to growing up in your career, and you kind of looked at as like, hey, I like this style of play?
Mm, for me, I think it's guys like Orlando Hudson, Ricky Weeks. Um, Trying to think. Those are some of the guys that I might not perfectly like. My game not might not be the same, but I watched their game and I saw what they were doing and like their swag and the way they carried themselves on the field is something that when I was younger, I definitely looked at and I was like, okay, like I kind of like that. Like that's what I want to try and do when I'm on the field and when I'm playing.
Now, similar to Sydney's question, what would your kind of words of wisdom be for players that are watching that may want to learn or grow in the college system and hopefully reach the MLB one day, but may not know where to start or how to
Mhm.
start? What words would you give them?
I mean, definitely for guys in high school and guys that are in college and going through the system, I think the biggest thing is just have fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's gonna work out, but don't get too bogged down with the system and how it works out and who's talking about what and what ranking. Like don't worry about all that. Just go out there and play because when you go out there and play, have fun and immerse yourself in the game and your team. That's when you perform your best and that's when you have the most fun. And at the end of the day you just want to have fun and enjoy the people that you're around because that's going to elevate your play and you're going to elevate their play. So at the end of the day, you just gotta just enjoy being out there and just be out there. Don't worry about anything. Once you're on the field, don't worry about the stands, who's in the stands, who's not in the stands, what social media is talking about. Just go out there, play baseball, and have fun.
Yeah, there's certainly so many different critics that you don't want to take anything too close to the heart because otherwise, then you might lose focus on the game itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Harry, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today.
Hmm.
We are looking forward to having you in Toronto with the Blue Jays organization once baseball is up and running. And one thing I will tell you, since you've never been to Toronto or even Canada, make sure you bring some extra layered clothes because sometimes it can get a little chilly on the fall days. So make sure you get prepared for those.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get used to that. That's definitely gonna be it's not gonna be my favorite part, so I'll make sure I layer up pretty well.
Don't worry, you'll get used
Thank
to
you,
it.
though. Thanks
That's
for
all.
having me. I
No problem,
appreciate
man.
that, though.
Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Hmm.
All right, take care.
Hmm.